Introductory Microeconomics. Introduction. Here we going to learn the meaning definitions of economics, microeconomics and macroeconomics, positive and normative economics. This is the comparative study and central problems of an economy. That means what, how and for whom to produce. The last one, concept of production possibility frontier and opportunity cost. First of all, we learn what is economics. Economics, we all know it is a social science. Why it's called social science? Because it is the study of society and the social problems, and also it's make the theories regarding society and the social problems. That's why it's called a social science. The English term economics is derived from the Greek word oikonomia. That means it is household management. Economia or the household management means household means individuals. The individual management consists of two functions. One is the consumers and the owners of factors of production. That means the economia is household management. The household means individual, and individual management means it consists of two functions. One is consumers, because the households act as the consumers, and also the individual act as a owners of factors of production. And the definitions of economics. What is the definition of economics? Economics regarded as the oldest discipline, because when the society started, then that time onwards the economics is persist. In early 20th century, economics Adam Smith, the father of economics, have defined economics differently. In his book An Inquiry into the Nature and Causes of Wealth of Nation, he explained in 1776 defined economics as the economics is the science of wealth. It's called the wealth definitions. Before Adam Smith, the economics known as the political economy, because economics is the part of the administration of the government. So that's why it's called it is a political economy. After the publishing of the Wealth of Nation, the economics become a separate discipline. There are many other definitions that we can look. One is nearly one half century later, 1819, Alfred Marshall, one of the all-time great economists, defined economics with wider scope. In 1819, Alfred Marshall, according to him, economics is the study of mankind in the ordinary business of life. It's called welfare definition. The ordinary business of life means that examine the part of individual and social action which is most closely connected with it, with the use of material requisites of well-beings. The other definition is John Robinson, a contemporary economist, defined economics in 1932 more precisely. According to him, economics is the science which studies human behavior as a relationship between ends and scarce means which have alternative uses. Robinson's definition is based on three facts. One is unlimited wants. That means here he said the ends means, that means unlimited wants, the countless number of wants the human have. The other fact is the scarce means. The third one is alternative uses. Unlimited wants means the first fact on which Robinson definition is based is that man's wants are unlimited. Human wants, desires, and aspirations are endless. Scarce means it is the relating to the wants. The resources are in a scarce. All wants be never be satisfied. The alternative uses means the third fact on which Robinson definition is based is that resources or means have various alternative uses. In other words, the resources can be put into the various uses. One of the other definition is growth definition given by the Paul A. Samuelson. Growth definition given by Paul Samuelson. Economics is the study of how man and society chooses with or without the use of money to employ scarce productive resources which could have the alternative uses to provide various commodities over time and distribute them for consumption now and in the future among various people and group of the society. From the old definitions, we can conclude it. One is the wealth definition given by the economist Adam Smith in his famous book Wealth of Nation. Other one is welfare definition, Alfred Marshall in his book Principles of Economics. The third one, the scarcity definition given by the Robinson in his book Nature and Significance of Economics. The last one is the growth definition given by the Paul Samuelson in his book Economics. From the old definitions, we can conclude that economics is the study of the scarce resources with the unlimited ones, how the people manage the unlimited ones with the scarce resources, why the unlimited ones persist in the world. One is due to the invention and innovations of new consumer goods, human wants and the desire are growing continuously. For example, before very early we will use a notebook and pen for the writing things. Now it's become computer, laptop and the tab. In the cell phone, we can also there is many innovation at the first time it a land phone. Now it become a cell phone. So any innovations of the consumer behavior, we need the resources. Other example is growing population. The population of the world are increasing gradually. So if the population increasing in the world, we need more and more resources for satisfying their needs. Even for the basic need, the shelter, food, all those things we need many resources. Other one is the social transformation and customs. The existing society is transforming one stage to another. We need many resources for the development of society, for development of the area, for all those social transformation, we need resources. That's why we can say that this is the unlimited ones. The whole time in the world, the unlimited ones, that means the people needs never ends. That means the never ends. Scarce means the scarcity refers to the limited availability of resources in comparison to the limitless ones. One is, for example, in the oils in the world, the petroleum product. This is because this is a very scarce resources in the world. And the scarcity may be with respect to any natural resources or with respect to any factors of production. The scarcity may origin with any natural sources like the petroleum or with respect to any factors of production means the factors of production means the land, labor, capital and the money, time, anything is a scarce comparing to its needs. A situation of scarcity requires people to judiciously or efficiently allocate the scarce resources to meet the needs of society. Why the alternative uses of means? Resources can be put into various uses. For example, the petroleum product can be used to the transfer like the transportation facilities and also use electricity. So the same resources can be put into the various resources. Here we're going to discuss what is economics, micro and macroeconomics. What is micro and macroeconomics means? The economics is divided into two. The two branches are one is microeconomics and other one is macroeconomics. In microeconomics is derived from the Greek word micro means small. In macroeconomics, the term macroeconomics is derived from the Greek word macro, which means large. Microeconomics take a microscopic view of economic system and studies how this system work in the micro level. Here you can see the microscopic view of Indian economy. An economy, there is a large number of the factors, units, etc. There is large number of the consumers, producers, industry, productions, etc. 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 Here we are going to microscopic view means we studying only an individual factor. On the other hand, the study of macroeconomics involves the study of factor affecting an economy as a whole rather than the study of the individual factors. Here we are going to study an economy as a whole. For example, this is the Indian economy. There are large number of buyers. If we study the large number of buyers and their consumption behavior, it is macroeconomics. On the other hand, if we study only one individual, we are studying how the consumption behavior of the one individual, it's called microeconomics. Other examples, in an economy there is a large kinds of productions. Here many services, many goods are producing every year. If we study the all production of goods and services, it is a part of macroeconomics, that's a GDP. On the other hand, here we are studying only the one services or only the one production of goods. It is microeconomics because it is individual study. So let us compare the microeconomics and the macroeconomics. Microeconomics, it is the study of individual economics unit of an economy. On the other hand, it is the study of economy as a whole and this aggregates. In a microeconomics, this deals with the individual household, individual firms, individual output. It deals with the aggregate like national income, general price level, national output, etc. Microeconomics is the central problem is price determination and allocation of resources. In macroeconomics, the central problem is determination of level of income and employment. Microeconomics is the main tool or demand and supply of particular commodity or factors. In macroeconomics, the main tools are aggregate demand and aggregate supply of an economy as a whole. For example, in a microeconomics, individual income, individual saving, price determination of commodity, individual firms output, consumer equilibrium, etc. Now the example of macroeconomics are national income, national saving, general price level, aggregate demand, aggregate supply, poverty, unemployment, etc. Here we are going to study the comparative study of positive economics and the normative economics. What is positive economics? Positive economics is confine itself to accurate description of phenomena. It explains what it works and what are its effects. If a phenomena explains accurate description, it is positive economics. It emphasizes what is and how its work and what are its effects. So a branch of economics based on data and fact is positive economics. The accurate discussion always based on the data and the facts. So the positive economics in which the fact or event are explained as they happen. For example, Inflation. In an economy, or realize the inflation of a period. Then, in a positive economics, it's explain how the inflation explains based on the data and facts. Based on data and facts, it found that the inflation is occurred because of the government expenditure. Then the positive economic explain what it is and how it's work and what are its effects. So we can say the government expenditure like the schools, bridges, roads construction, or other social development activities. Like this other government expenditure leads to inflation. So when the government expenditure come to the economy, it's lead to getting more money to the people. So it leads to inflation. So this we are the one of the example of the positive economics. So we can say that inflation is explained why it's and what are the effect I explained. This is the accurate description of the phenomena. So the accurate description of phenomena we explain based on the data and facts. On the other hand, the normative economics. Normative economics science attempt to explain the fact or event as they ought to be or as they ought to happen. So, a branch of economic based on value, opinion, and judgment is called normative economics. So, in other words, a normative science makes value judgment what is good or bad or right or wrong when the economists suggest a solution to economic problem. Their approach can be regarded as normative economics. Here are the example. Acceptable level is good or bad or what is the solution. For example, in inflation rate, we can say what is the acceptable level of inflation. Normally say the 3% to 5% inflation in economy, it's an acceptable level. So we can say it is a normative economics. We can say what is the good or bad. What is the solution? It's kinds of things we deals in normative economics. Type of an economy. There are three types of an economy. One is the capitalist economy. In the capitalist economy, we also call market economy. It is an economy in which goods and resources are bought and sold freely in the market. Here means of production are privately owned and economic activity are guided by self-interest and profit motive. It is also known as free economy. In a capitalist economy, in which all decisions are based on the demand and supply, and also the production has take place the profit motives. From the capitalist economy, we can conclude the existence of private property. The capitalist economy, there are existence of private property, then freedom of ownerships, the working on the price mechanism. Last one, desire to earn profit. This is the four are the main features of the capitalist economy. The other type of economy is the socialist economy, in which socialist or the centrally planned economy, it is an economy in which all economic decisions are taken by the government or by an authorized central authority. Here means of production are owned by the whole community. It is also known as socialist or controlled by economy. Here we can conclude that ownership should be collective. The all ownership will be the collective means the government or any other central planned economy will be the owner of all resources in an economy. Then equality. Main objective of the social economy is an equality or the reducing equality. The other objectives is planning as the government. The main feature of socialist economy is the planning. There will be a planning committee or the planning authority to plan the resources to achieve their goals. The last one is social welfare. Main objective or the features of the socialist economy is the social welfare. The third type of economy is the mixed economy. In mixed economy, it is an economy in which the both private and public sector coexist and the both of them work together under the general guidelines of the centralized economic planning. So we can see the both features of the capitalist and socialist economy here. The India is one of the great example of mixed economy. Here we're going to discuss what are the major problems, basic problems of facing by an economy. In any economic system, whether the socialist, mixed, and the capitalist economy, the basic problems are three. One is what to be produced. The second one is which method of production should be employed. And third one is for whom to produce. This is the three problems are facing by an economy, whether the socialist, mixed, or capitalist. What to be produced? Here, what to be produced means there are faced two problems: what goods are to be produced, and other one is what quantities are to be produced. Why the two questions arise? Because of the scarcity. If an economy there is no scarcity problem, all resources have unlimited resources. If they never face these kinds of question: what goods are to be produced, what quantities are to be produced. If they have abundant quantities of resources, they can produce whatever amount and whatever quantities. So every economy faces scarcity. That's why they have to face the problems: what goods has to be produced, what quantities has to be produced. Here one is the example. In economy they have land, labor, capital, and replenishment resources. So they want to produce food, clothing, shelter, security, comfort, medicine, jewelry, affection, transportation, good health, children, variety in diet, knowledge, convenience, travels, recreation, control, entertainment. All those resources can be produced in unlimited quantity with using the available resources. So they have to face what quantity are to be produced, what quantities are to be produced. That necessitates a rational choice about what could are to be produced. In an economy, they can either produce the food production or the government can produce in the social service sector like the hospital, university, family planning, schools like that. Or the government can spend all resources to produce the military equipments like the national security. Normally, the government produce the mix of all those items: foods, social services, and the national security. After if the government decide to what goods are to be produced, the other question is how much quantities of different chosen goods are to be produced. The other problems an economy faces: which method of production should be employed. There are two prominent methods of production. One is the capital intensive method, other one is labor intensive method. The capital intensive method means if the process of production involves relatively more use of capital per unit of labor, it can be regarded as the capital intensive the techniques or method of production. The labor-intensive method means if the process of production involves relatively more use of labor per unit of capital, it can be considered a labor-intensive method. For example, here we are showing a photos. This is a car factory company. Here we can see all the process of production are guided by the machinery activity. Here the labor contains labor quantities are very less and very rare. So here we can see this is a capital intensive method. So here the photos you can see all the car production that are doing by the laborers. Here the machine contents or machine production are here very less. So this is a labor intensive method. So we can conclude that the capital intensive method has such techniques of production. Goods are capital using and labor saving. Here we can see that the labor-intensive method means such techniques of producing goods are labor-using and capital-saving. So, given the availability of factors input and the technical know-how, the technique that can yield the maximum output at the least cost per unit may be the chosen or adopted by the different society, whether the capital mixed or the socialist economy. For whom to produce? This is the last word. Last problems. Problems of national product is to be distributed. How distribute national income and product among individual groups of the individual? The different groups of people are such as land, labor, capital, and the entrepreneurs. The if the government are decided a particular product are produced and particular method of production are chosen, the next question is for whom to produce. So here this means the different groups of production such as land, labor, capital, then they get a reward if they engage in a production. That means the land get the rent, labor get wages, capital get interest, and entrepreneurs get profit. Here, the for whom to produce the problem of national policies means the respective shares of different productive factor in the national income or product that be determined. So they should get the enough amount of the distribution of the rent, wage, interest, profit should be very reasonable and equitable. So other problems facing with for whom to produce are how distribute national income and the product among individual groups. This is a distribution of national income product is whether given distributed equitable or not. Here at the rich person, the all produced goods are goes to the rich person. We can say it is not a fair. Here somewhere in a poor people they're getting a small fraction of the total product which are produced in a country or economy that goes to poor. This is not a fair. So this is the consider that the government have the an economy have the big challenges and the problem is that the goods are produced in an economy should goes to equitable production possibility frontier. In order to analyze the various economic problems that confront an economic system, an important economic tool was provided by Paul Samuelson. Production possibility curve or production frontier is the locus of different combinations of two goods that an economic system can produce given the quantities of productive resources and technique of production. So the factors of production are land, labor, capital, entrepreneurs, and resources. An economy have this kind of resources: land, labor, capital. The production possibility curve shows the using the available all resources, how much quantities of production can be produced, the two goods. Here for example, here the an assumption assume that the government are producing two goods using the all resources are available in an economy. One is the food, another one is the clothes. So there are large available combinations of production. So here we showing different combinations that an economy produced the amount of the two goods using the all resources that available in an economy. So this is the production possibilities. We are going to produce two goods. One is the clothes, another one is food. That means the feed. In a combination A, we can produce zero quantities, and if we use all resources in an economy for using the wheat, we can produce 15 quantities. That means the 15,000 quintals wheat. What it means? This is a production possibility A combination, which means if we using all the resources, we can produce 15 quantities of wheat and zero quantities of clothes. This is one another combination we call F. That means that if we use all the resources, land, labor, capital, etc. For producing two goods, the clothes and wheat, we can produce five quantities of clothes and zero quantities of wheat. This is the extreme two combination. Normally, an economy choose in between a combination in between these two combinations A and F. This is the B combination. It is showing 1 quantities of clothes and 14 quantities of wheat. That means if this combination means this is a B combination. If we using all resources to produce in two goods, the one combination is we can produce 1 quantities of clothes and the 14 quantities of wheat. This is the another combination C. Here they show if we using the all resources to producing two goods, we can produce 2 quantities of clothes and the 12 quantities of wheat. This is the combination of D. It shows the 3 quantities of clothes and the 9 quantities of wheat that can be produced in an economy with using the all resources available in an economy. There is another combination E that means they can produce 4 quantities of clothes and the 5 quantities of wheat. So this is the production possibility schedules. Then we are going to draw a production possibility curve. Here we showing the production possibilities and we are going to produce two goods, that is clothes and wheat. In the first combination A, we are going to produce the clothes or 0 quantities of clothes, and here all resources are used to produce wheat. So we can produce 15 quantities of wheat that can be produced with using all resources of a nation. So here we can show a graph. So how to show the combination of 0 and 5 here? This is the combination of 0 and 5. That means 15 quantities of the wheat are producing using the available resources and 0 quantities of clothes are producing. The other combinations are B. That means we are going to produce 1 quantities of clothes and the 14 quantities of wheat. This is the combination here. 1 quantities of clothes are producing and the 14 quantities of wheat are producing with using all available resources. This is the combinations of C and is showing the clothes, 2 quantities of clothes and 12 quantities of wheat that can be shown in the graph. This is another combination D, that is 3 quantities of clothes and the 9 quantities of wheat. This is another combination E, that is the 4 quantities of clothes and 5 quantities of wheat. This is the last combination F, that is the 5 quantities of clothes and the 0 quantities of wheat. So this is the production possibilities. The production possibility shows an economy can produce the two goods with using all resources in an economy. So here we are to know that what is the opportunity cost. Here we produced 0 quantities of the first combination A, 0 quantities of clothes and 15 quantities of wheat. So if we want to produce 1 more quantities of clothes, we have to give up the production of wheat. So further, if you want to produce 1 more quantity of cloth, we have to give up the production of wheat. If you want 1 more additional quantities of clothes, we have to give up another quantities of wheat. That's the opportunity cost. Assumptions of production possibilities. The quantities of available production resources are fixed. What is there is full employment of resources production in the country. The techniques of production are given. The government does not interfere in an economy. If any economy faces the growth of an economy, the production possibility frontier will be shift upward. Thank you.